Hello, welcome to Tender Loving Care with Dr. Greenbrier Almond. Again tonight, I'm Dennis Cordes, and I'm sitting for Dr. Almond. I'm pitch hitting again, so to speak. Tonight we're at the DAV building in Carter, West Virginia, which is in Upshur County. And with me tonight is Ron Fowler, the adjutant. Ron, you guys have done a lot of work on the building here. We're going to take a tour of the building in just a moment. Go ahead and introduce your building committee.
Okay. Yes, I'm adjutant, and most of the work done, primarily 99.9% of the work done was done by 3 individuals who are members of our organization. I'd like to introduce what we call the building committee, and the chairman of the building committee is Arnold Bennett. And his helpers are Bill DePoy and Roger DePoy. And these are the guys that really have done all the improvements here at the building.
As you can see, I'm a member of the DAV myself. But let's take a quick tour of the building and then we can sit down to business.
Okay, for the tour of the building committee is going to take you on a tour and show you all that what was done up here. And we'll turn it over to Arnold and his committee.
Arnold.
Yes, sir.
What was the building looking like before you attacked it?
It was pretty sad shape. The old building hadn't been anything done to it for years, and so we came in and dismantled the kitchen and this room and put new walls, new floor, new wall covering, new lighting, of course new trim and new stoves, new tables, new carpeting. Of course in the kitchen we put all new appliances and cabinetry and replumbed it. Had a guy to come in and do the electrical, rewired everything before.
Well, it's virtually a new building.
Well, a couple rooms are anyhow.
Yeah. I know a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think it was it you that was in front of County Commission when I was taping County Commission?
Yes.
A couple of years ago? And you said you needed a new roof at that point. That's when I decided to join the DAV.
Well, it was the DAV, somebody representing DAV was in front of the County Commission, and we did get the new roof. We got new windows and new doors, new exterior doors at that time. It's amazing how the donations came in and we got enough money to do the things that needed done at this point.
Yeah. You want to give us a tour of the building? Where did you start when you first started remodeling?
Started in the kitchen.
Go ahead. Come on, folks. You can join us.
Now the kitchen had old cabinetry in it, and the floor was terrible. The walls of the studs just has a little thin paneling on them, and there was nothing behind it, so we had to, before we could put the white covering on, we had to redo all the walls. We put OSB board on all the walls. We redone the floor, put new wood down on the floor, got new linoleum. We put new ceilings, new lighting in. It was pretty dim in here. Then we done all the trim out with oak trim. One of the members, Larry Russell, he made all the trim in here and put polyurethane on it for us. So he donated that in his time. Then we got the cabinets and the countertops, the new appliances, and other than that, that's about all. Of course, they've upgraded the fire system in here.
Oh yeah, I see the smoke alarms.
Yeah, so we're up to code on the fire system and
Very good.
those things.
And this right behind us is
That's the dining room.
dining room. Let's go in there. And
Now about all we had to do to the dining room was, it was in pretty good shape. We just cleaned it, put new ceiling and new lighting in. And of course, I mentioned already that the exterior doors were put in the first go around when the roof and windows were done. Excuse me. So,
and your meeting room is back this way, I believe.
yes, sir.
Go ahead. And this is where you conduct, well, I should say we because I'm a member of the DAV also.
Right.
This is where we conduct the business of the DAV.
Right. This is where we have our meetings and our votes, and of course we use this for dining too. When we have a turkey dinner, which we have every fall of the year.
Okay.
So this, when that overflows, we use this. Of course, we've got new tables in here. We haven't done much to this room other than plumbing and wiring and new lighting. There's more we need to do, but you know, we have decided to do certain things at certain times.
Sure, the budget.
Yeah, and as we get some more money, we've got some more things we want to do, so.
You know, we were going to sit out there and talk about DAV programs, but I think this would be a more appropriate location if we sat here with our backs to the podium and the camera was facing us. Go ahead, we'll take a 10-second break to go get the tripod. Okay, folks, we're back. I'm sitting at the end of the table instead of in the middle on purpose because tonight we're going to talk about the DAV and the DAV programs. To let you know what DAV stands for, it stands for Disabled American Veterans. And the building committee and the adjutant are here, and they will tell you about the DAV programs. And who wants to go first? Ron?
Sure. I think maybe first thing we ought to talk about the DAV itself, what it is.
Exactly.
And first of all, it's a national organization. It's in every state, and they call the states state departments. So as a local organization, we belong to the West Virginia Department of the Disabled American Veterans, and we are Chapter 36 of the State Department. Membership is by application, and it's for those who have served in military service and have some sort of disability connected with their military service. And oops, you're going to have to edit. I lost where I was going.
Okay, DAV stands for Disabled American Veterans. Is there any time frame there to, like the American Legion, for example, has time frames. You have to be between this date and this date.
As far as I know, there's no time date because it is not based on a particular period of service. It's based on having some type of incident while you're in military service that creates a disability,
right,
recognized by the Veterans Administration. And
now,
it's a lifetime membership in the organization. And the primary function of the organization, at least nationwide, is to be a voice in the, I guess you call it, the political picture for the rights and the benefits of disabled veterans and their families. Families are a very important part of this. Now, on the local level, of course, we support the national level in their efforts, but locally here, some of our things that we try to do is help. We keep in, on hand here, supplies that we can loan out to folks who are in need of some temporary assistance, like we have beds, hospital beds, wheelchairs, assistive equipment to be used temporarily by individuals before, you know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to acquire it permanently, so we can fill in that time frame.
there are other organizations around the county that do that also. I'm thinking of the Lions Club, the Kiesling Mill.
Right.
But I wasn't aware the DAV did that too.
You're right.
And that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, we're down here in the lower end of Upshur County, southern end, and you know, it's the community, so it's kind of a community organization. Plus we have the building here, and when we got into the remodeling of this, we made the commitment that it's not only for the DAV, it is a public building, and we will make the building available to organizations, family reunions, birthday parties, events like that, for the community, because there's no other community buildings in this area that are really available to me that I know of. So that's part of our program too, is just be of assistance to the public.
Sure, yeah. What is the basic history of the DAV? How did it get started and when? Do you know? I don't.
Yeah, it started in here in, was it about 1950? 52, I think. The building, some World War II veterans in the area here got together in 1952, organized this chapter.
Okay.
And I think it was in 1954, this was part of, I think, the All-Car Farm, All-Cars. And they deeded this building, or a building here, and I think 2 acres of land to that organization, those folks formed. So that's how we have that now. It was a donation.
Oh, okay.
So
How did the DAV itself get started on a national basis? Do you know?
I think it goes way, way back to, honestly, I think the Civil War.
Really? Far back?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So we'll not say, but it started because there were a lot of individuals who were coming back from serving their country, being wounded, and just sent home with no support, no treatments,
Yeah.
no help, and the veteran, well, not only the DAB, but all the veterans organizations got organized to, start being a voice for those veterans and try to get them the services that they can.
On a national basis, what are some of the DAV programs that you have currently, that the DAV has currently, and are there any upcoming or future programs that will be initiated or hopefully be initiated into the DAV on nationwide basis?
Okay, like I have mentioned, the primary purpose on the national level is to work with veterans, disabled veterans, to make sure that they receive all of the benefits and services that they have earned because of their military service. And of course, when it comes time for funding of the Veterans Administration, the DAV has spokesmen that go before Congress and talk to them about veterans' needs. That's one of the things. And then there's a nationwide staff of individuals, and we have a couple here in West Virginia. They're called Veteran Service Officers, and these are the individuals who work directly with the veteran or the veteran's family to make sure that they know, or the veterans or the veteran's family knows, that what services are available to them and how do you go about obtaining those services. Jumping through all of the federal hoops it's a very complicated, time-consuming, and sometimes frustrating system. And these individuals are trained to work within that system to help the veterans. That's primarily what the national and the state do.
Excuse me, folks. Okay. Next question is, let's say a veteran is just getting out of service, he's missing a limb from combat, and he comes to the DAV and wants help. Are there programs out there to assist him with the VA getting him an artificial limb of some sort?
Our program is that we will make sure that that individual has the information and knows where to go to the Veterans Administration to receive the services that they need. And if they don't feel they're getting the services they need or deserve, then we can do a follow-up with the Veteran Service Officers and try to make sure that individual gets what they need through the Veterans Administration. Now, we as an organization do not provide the service ourselves.
Right.
Right, What we try to do is be the advocate for the veteran.
You said earlier that families are involved too.
Correct.
Let's take this, the same hypothetical veteran, and he's going to the VA now. You've got him in the VA system, and he's going to be getting an artificial limb. What services are available to the family to support him?
Again,
or her in the case, maybe.
Right. Again, what we would do in that case is we would make sure that family has contact with the proper individuals within the VA system to receive the services that they need. We don't get involved in the services directly.
Okay.
We're just the advocate. Now, what we do, and we've had a couple of cases of this in our community here recently, a veteran has passed away. Well, and there are certain instances where when a veteran passes, the spouse is eligible to receive certain benefits.
Sure.
But they have to know what those benefits are, and they have to go through the process of applying for those benefits, and they have to make sure that the paperwork, the chain of the paperwork necessary to get the benefits is in proper order. And so I know our organization the past year has worked with 2 widows and got them on the right track and they now have all of the benefits that, you know, the VA offers a widow of a service-connected veteran.
Sure.
So that's what we do.
Before we went on camera, we were talking about future and upcoming programs that the DEV may be working on, such as, give an example, in the American Legion, there's something called an Americanism program. Do you have anything similar coming down the pike?
Because we have basically not reorganized, but we're just kind of have started to become more active. There was a time gap there, I guess, from the past that when they first started this organization, very active, and then things kind of, as people moved on. So I think, you know, we're starting to do that. And I think one of the things we can do to answer, or I can answer that question, is we're available. What do people want? Let us know. We will start working on a program, but we don't have any definite plans or goals right now until we hear. So let's say we have an appeal right now, and is there something that this organization can do to assist veterans or veterans' families?
Okay.
And I think that's the best way to do it.
And that's not just a local chapter here, that is nationwide, correct?
Well, correct. I mean, yes, it would be nationwide, but we're looking at local here. Is there something that we can do locally? Should we set up a program to work in our local school systems, for example? You know, like the American Legions.
Yeah.
Could we do something like that? Is there a specific piece of equipment that we should have here that's available that we don't know about? It's a blank page.
Yeah.
Saying we're willing to sit down, look it over.
What is the average dues? You said it's a lifetime membership only in this post, this chapter anyway. What would be the average dues?
$250. About $250.
Depends on age.
It depends on age. I mean, there's a sliding scale. The younger you are, the more the dues are, and once you reach past
75, I think.
75, it's a very minimal, if anything.
But so you can have it on installments, right?
You can get it on installments.
Okay.
Right, you can.
So if we have a service-connected disabled veteran that's out there, doesn't know about the DEV and is watching this program tonight, how would they get a hold of you and find out how much the dues are and check out your chapter?
Okay. Well, we basically have 2 individual contacts. The first is the commander, which is Dick Page, lives in Buchanan, and they can get a hold of Richard and talk to him about it. We can get him, he can have system, and then being adjutant, they can always get a hold of me, and I'll get the information to them and talk to them, and we'll.
Do you want to release any of your information on how to get a hold of you?
Sure, I don't mind if they're call me. It's my phone number is 924-5584, and my email address is this is all small letters. It's NAM_vet6870 @ hotmail.com, and they can email me at that address.
All right. What branch were you in?
Excuse me?
What branch of service were you in, sir?
Army.
Army. And you, sir?
Army.
Sir?
Army, same.
I'm outnumbered here, folks. You guys are all Army. I'm sorry to hear that. I was Navy, folks, so there's going to be a little bit of kibitzing back and forth here.
Not too much. We're all veterans.
That's right, that's right.
To add to what Ron was telling you about
cool.
contacts and whatnot, we have a meeting the first Friday of
Thank
every
you.
month. And they're welcome to come and
What
Set
time does
in
the meeting start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
And
Okay.
they can get information there also, just, show up and
Yeah.
we'll treat them right. Do what we
Okay.
can for them.
What other remodeling projects do you have for this building that you haven't started yet? Or just started?
Well, we have some more work to do outside on the siding. The bottom of the siding is deteriorated, the vinyl siding.
Yeah.
When money comes available, we want to put metal up a couple of feet, tear off the old siding and do metal, stop the lawnmowers and string trimmers from throwing rocks through it and
Sure.
all that good stuff. And what else, Arnold?
The back rooms, we want to put a petition in there make a hallway to the bathroom. We want to upgrade the back rooms and get it a little more organized. In the past, they've just been used for storage, and in an organization, usually your storage is just throw it in there and get rid of it. So-
Yeah. Yeah,
So we'd like to get
I
that.
think we all have a room like that in our house.
And as Bill mentioned, if the funding is available and things, we're considering doing the whole outside siding.
Oh, okay.
So if not, we'll put a skirt around the bottom as he has spoken.
Yeah.
And other than that, right now, we've broken it down into projects so that we don't get carried away with thinking about what needs to be done instead of doing what we need to be doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we've kind of, the outside siding in those rooms there are next on our agenda, and once we get through those, then we'll look for what
Okay.
else needs to be done.
We still have a few minutes of time left. Does anybody want to speak up and talk about DEV issues?
I probably don't want to talk about DAV issues specifically, but I'd like to talk about veterans in general, that they're try to get the word. What I'm trying to do is express the need to all veterans, particularly some of the younger ones and some of the newer ones, that a lot of the services that they have now, that they, I'm sure they don't take them for granted, but they're there. They're not having to fight for them. Those services are there is because the veterans organizations, all the veterans organizations went to bat back in the day when all of these services were not available, and went to work and got these benefits and services made available to them. And it was a political process, and it's politics, and you have to get, speak with a unified voice. And my concern is if some of these younger veterans fail to step up and not join veterans organizations, take part in veterans organizations, that these benefits and services could be put in jeopardy.
You could, yes.
They could be put in jeopardy, budget cuts and that type of stuff. So there needs to be a very, very strong showing of all veterans together to make sure that we have what we need. And we're just not seeing these younger veterans come to the front and join or take. We're not saying they need to be totally active. We understand, you know, they have families,
They can if
they
they
have
want to.
jobs, and you know, but they can, you know, participate to a certain level. They can become members, they can write letters, they can do what they need to do to protect their interest.
That's true. I was in the Navy from 68 to 72, and what Ron is talking about, I experienced when I got out. The VA services and the veterans, other veteran services just were in poor condition. Some of them didn't even exist, and because of the political attitude of the time, the service organizations got together and fought for these benefits that the young veterans today are, and the older ones too, are enjoying.
I can say that it was the Vietnam veterans who stepped forward, and after the Vietnam War, and said, you know, we're not going to take this anymore. And actually it was the Vietnam veterans that stepped forward and did the leadership and made a lot of this happen, because, hey, you're not treating us this way. No one else was standing up for us, so we stood up for ourselves as a group. And there's a, you know, therefore we do have what I believe is a pretty good VA system right now, particularly in healthcare, which is very important.
We do here in north central West Virginia, yes. I don't want to put a time picture on this program, but perhaps I should. At this point in time in history, there is a very severe problem with certain VA facilities, and those folks are just not understanding what veterans issues are. And so that fight that happened back in the 70s and early 80s is taking place yet again today to reinstate these services and change people's attitudes about what a veteran is and how a veteran lives. So, to give you an example, I'm a service-connected disabled veteran, and I really didn't want to mention this, but this is appropriate at this time. I think part of the attitude problem with a lot of the public, and remember, it's people that are running these rogue VA facilities. People have called me to my face. In fact, I have a family member who will not change their mind. They call me a burden on the taxpayer because I accept my disability check from the VA. Maybe it's this attitude that is more prevalent than we thought with these people that we have the problems with in these other VA facilities. Anybody else have a quick take on it before we sign off?
No, waiting to see what the Inspector General has to say.
Yeah.
Get to the facts.
There's lots of people out there that, at least I heard a person make a statement the other day, that they feel that any veteran who wasn't in combat, actual combat, shouldn't receive any benefits. That wasn't the deal, and I can't agree with that person, but there's a lot of people feel that way out there, and I've heard what you talked about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be radical or politicize the thing, but when they done away with the draft, attitude changed in this country. There's nobody patriotic anymore. They don't respect the flag, they don't respect the country. And I think when the draft went away, that started. It's a sad state of affairs.
I tend to agree with that.
You go to some kind of an event, they sing a national anthem, they won't take their hat off, they won't put a hand over their heart, they won't stand up when the flag goes down the street, and it hurts my feelings, being a vet and whatnot.
It hurts my feelings too.
I do have one more thing. I'm sure we're getting to the end of the program right here. We want to publicly thank everybody who supported us in making all of these improvements available. When we did the appeal, we had people that would send us $5, $10, $20, and it was amazing to us how good the public response was locally. Now this was locally, to helping us raise the funds. And once the word got out, we had people contacting us, asking us, you know, what kind of assistance we needed and what we could do. The people that we hired to do some of the work, and we did hire some people to do the work, they gave us discounts on their labors. We got discounts locally on some of the materials we purchased. It would not all surprise me, I didn't keep track of everything, but if you take account the discounts and the cost of labor and everything, I would imagine we got double value for the amount of money that we spend here in getting these improvements. So County Commission was a great support to us. They helped us, so we do appreciate everybody who stepped forward to help us.
That was when I sent in my dues to join.
Yeah. Well, none of the dues money went to this.
Oh, really?
No dues money went to this. This was all
I stand corrected.
a special fund that we had set aside of contributions for this specific project, and that money was spent on nothing but this building. No dues money went to this at all.
I stand corrected. We have been watching the story of the DAV Chapter 36 here in Carter, and next week we are working on having a program on the American Legion, and the following week, the fourth of the 4 programs will be on the Combined Honor Guard. We're working on that. We again would like to thank Dr. Greenbrier Allman for donating his airtime and paying for it actually. So we can have these 4 programs last week and today and the next 2 weeks, the American Legion and the Combined Honor Guard. Again, we'd like to thank the DAV Chapter 36, and we'll say good night, folks. Thanks for watching.